in the unforgiving land of Sinaloa. A young boy named Joaquin Guzman was raised amidst the dust and desperation of poverty. Little did anyone know, this seemingly ordinary boy would one day rise to become a legend, a name that would strike fear into the hearts of many. El Chapo. Welcome to Curious Minds. Today we're taking you on a journey through the life of a criminal mastermind who built one of the biggest drug empires of all time, leaving a trail of chaos behind him. From an early age, Joaquin dreamt of a life beyond the confines of his impoverished neighborhood. His spirit burned with a constant desire for power and wealth, an ambition that would lead him down a treacherous path. The streets of Sinaloa were a breeding ground for chaos and violence, where desperation and crime reigned supreme. But amidst this darkness, Joaquin saw an opportunity, a chance to take control of his destiny and go beyond the bounds of his humble beginnings. With a shrewd mind and a keen eye for opportunity, Joaquin plunged deeper into the shady world of narcotics. He watched the powerful players, the shady operations, and the immense wealth that followed. As his ambitions grew, he started to form connections with the most powerful individuals in the criminal hierarchy. He learned from their twisted wisdom, absorbing every ounce of knowledge that would eventually pave the way for his rise to power. In the heart of Culiacan, the capital city of Sinaloa, El Chapo began his ascent through the ranks of the powerful drug cartels that controlled the region. With every step he took, El Chapo learned the harsh realities of the trade. He immersed himself in the inner workings of the cartels, gaining the trust of expert criminals who recognized his potential and ambition. El Chapo quickly proved his worth, becoming an indispensable asset within the cartel, earning respect and loyalty through his calculated maneuvers. As he climbed the ladder of the criminal underworld, El Chapo pulled off daring heists, smuggling operations, and built an extensive network that spanned borders. His reputation as a cunning and ruthless leader grew with each move. As his empire grew, so did his reputation. His name echoed through the streets, striking fear into the hearts of those who stood in his way. Law enforcement agencies across the world became obsessed with capturing the infamous Kingpin and bringing an end to his criminal empire. The hunt for El Chapo intensified, but he remained one step ahead, always avoiding being captured and disappearing into the shadows. The empire of El Chapo grew more powerful with each passing day, but so did the hunger of those seeking to take him down. Governments around the world were already aware of El Chapo's criminal activities, but it was time to act. A cooperative effort was initiated, with intelligence operations and covert surveillance honing in on the unreachable target. The net was closing in on El Chapo, and law enforcement agencies carefully gathered evidence, piecing together the puzzle of his enormous criminal empire. They knew that bringing him down required a precise and orchestrated approach. Finally, the moment arrived. The operation to capture El Chapo was set in motion, a high-stakes game of cat and mouse that would test the power of law enforcement and challenge the criminal mastermind himself. Armed with intelligence and armed forces, law enforcement executed a series of raids on El Chapo's hideouts. Each operation was a race against time, as El Chapo's vast network of informants and his own resourcefulness threatened to evade capture once again. But despite El Chapo's best efforts, fate finally caught up with him. In a dramatic turn of events, he was captured, pulled from his throne into the cold reality of a prison cell. Then, just when everyone thought they had finally captured the great El Chapo, he staged an incredible escape that would send law enforcement back to square one. Incarcerated in a seemingly impenetrable fortress, El Chapo's life behind bars seemed inescapable, but his criminal genius and influence extended far beyond the prison bars, enabling him to set up an escape plan that defied all odds. The plan was as audacious as it was genius. El Chapo's loyal associates dug a mile-long tunnel that led directly into his prison cell. With a network of corrupt prison officials and an intricate system to avoid surveillance, the stage was set for his escape. It was not long before El Chapo vanished into the depths of the tunnel. As law enforcement agencies scrambled to react, his escape had been announced to the world. Heads rolled, investigations were launched, and the hunt for the drug lord urgently began once again. The world held its breath as law enforcement agencies pursued every lead, leaving no stone unturned. El Chapo had once again slipped through their fingers, leaving them with the question of how such an infamous man could disappear without a trace. Following El Chapo's newfound freedom, law enforcement escalated their efforts to take down his criminal empire. They targeted his associates, seized assets, and disrupted the drug trade networks that had been the lifeblood of his operation. The manhunt for El Chapo reached an all-time high as law enforcement agencies combined their knowledge and resources. They followed leads, tracked his movements, and made use of advanced surveillance technologies in a relentless pursuit of the wanted drug lord. With every step he took, law enforcement was hot on his trail. They intercepted communications, infiltrated his network, and pieced together the puzzle of his underground empire. The net was closing in, and his capture was inevitable. Then finally, the moment arrived. In a carefully coordinated operation, law enforcement closed in on El Chapo's hiding place. He was captured, ripped from the shadows, and brought face to face with the authorities. The story of El Chapo reaches its final chapter, leaving behind a legacy that lives on forever in the records of criminal history. The world watched with bated breath as El Chapo faced the judicial system, charged with a series of crimes that spanned decades. As witnesses testified against him, the evidence piled up. His ruthless tactics, enormous wealth, and influence over the drug trade was exposed to the world. Ultimately, El Chapo was found guilty on multiple charges, ensuring that he would spend the rest of his life behind bars, far away from the empire he once ruled. While El Chapo's reign may have come to an end, the remnants of his empire still linger. The drug trade continues to evolve, and new kingpins rise to take his place. As we come to the end of this video, we are left astounded by the criminal mastermind that El Chapo was. From daring escapes to intricate drug operations, his reign of terror kept the world at the edge of its seat. But in the end, even the greatest of criminals must face the consequences of their actions. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to our channel for more stories like this. And don't forget, stay curious.